Hi, my name is Donna, and I'm doing my presentation on Australian Aboriginal people. Who are the Australian Aboriginal people? Indigenous Australians, also known as Aborigines, have migrated nearly 30,000 years from Asia, coming from 500 to 600 different groups. They possess unifying links. Aborigines strongly believe the connection between human and earth, and they call the beginning of time the dream time or dreaming. The dreaming is a period of time that has a beginning but foreseeable end. Mother Earth, as we would say, was shaped and humanized by the actions of mythic beings. Many of the beings look like human beings or animals. Some change their forms, like shapeshifters. Shapeshifters are known to change from human to animal and vice versa. Mythic beings of the dreaming are eternal, though in the myths some were killed or disappeared beyond the boundaries of the people who sang about them. In Aboriginal beliefs, they are spirits just as much as they are alive. Aboriginal Australians are the oldest living civilization on Earth. Evidence from archaeologists have confirmed that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders have been on this continent for at least 60,000 years, making Indigenous culture the oldest continuously striving civilization on the face of the earth. Before European contact, Aborigines were generally hunter-gatherers who foraged for food from the land like most of all indigenous tribes before colonization. The land is sacred. One common trend that escalates through indigenous culture is reverence for the land. It is said that ancestor beings traveled across the country, forming landmarks and places of interest out of the previously shapeless landscape, forming song lines or connecting the sacred sites created by these spirit beings. Respect for ancestors is expressed through respect for country. Songlines are deeply tied to Australian landscapes and are of the utmost importance when it comes to knowledge, culture, values, and wisdom. Colonization. The beginning of white settlement occurred in the year of 1788, when Lieutenant James Cook and Arthur Phillip arrived and the land was taken over by British colonists. As a result of forced assimilation by the 1880s, most Aborigines had joined white rural and urban communities. Aboriginal people became economically marginalized and were exposed to new ideas. The consequence was massive depopulation and extinction for some Aboriginal tribes. Over 2 centuries, the continent was in fact stolen from Aboriginal people. Settlers moved in, taking over the majority of Australia, either for private use or in the name of the British Crown. Even after Australia was declared independent in 1901, citizenship was granted to Aborigines only following a national referendum in 1967. Legacy of racism. Impacts. Indigenous culture is not continued in the outback. If it wasn't for the British colony, the present would definitely be a little different today. Meaning, there's about 35% of Aborigines that live in major cities, 44% in the regional towns, and 21% in remote areas, causing alcoholism and high rates of social assistance needs, poor education, emotional health problems, poverty, and low income. Crime is also an issue for the Aboriginal communities. Stats show that Aboriginals are 11 times more likely to go to jail other than non-Indigenous Australians. Violence and substance abuse is a major problem facing Aboriginals today. This causes high rates of gang affiliations and violence against women. Keeping tradition alive. Tradition is passed down through stories, just like most traditions do. We are taught to respect and listen to our elders, as our elders are our teachers and the women are our life givers. Aborigines believe in the power of medicine and use traditional medicines for many reasons. They are highly spiritual people. Their worldview is very different to the Western model. To them, the spirit world is very real, much like Cree beliefs in the afterlife, and the Western model is based on germ theory. Australian Aborigines focus a lot on pain relief and management, along with spiritual disorders. So when people feel weak or sick, they may say the spirit is not in the right place or within. Using special sacred tools and through massage, they are able to return the spirits to its rightful place. Song, dance, and art. These tribes have very similar song and dance to the North American styles. They use drums and have different styles of dance, but all are prayers going to the Creator. All traditions have beautiful, unique artwork and stories behind their artwork. Colonization across the world may have took the land, but will not take the people's pride and their continued traditions today. When singing songs, they use drums and horns. Dancing styles vary throughout hundreds of tribal groups. They have unique different types of moves and a lot of foot stomping. Today, this is called shake a leg. It is an honor to receive a high respect for representing your tribe in song and dance. Much like powwow dance here, they imitate the spirit of animals or birds. Serious ritual or sacred dancing was quite a distinct from light-hearted camp dancing that men, women, and children could share. They have traditional art such as ground paintings and rock engraving. Ground paintings were only done by men. The older men would get assistance from the younger men, and they had a keeper of those sites, like policemen. Rock engraving has similarities of ground paintings, and some rock engravings are known to be 20,000 years old. All land is sacred. The Aboriginal people's deep love of their local territory is expressed in a song from the Onapili region. Come with me to the point and we'll look at the country. We'll look across at the rocks. Look, rain is coming. It fails on my sweetheart. And I just thought that was beautiful to share. And last but not least, respect Mother Earth for our children and our children's children. Thank you for listening. That concludes my presentation.